Okay, Anna, how delightful to see you.
Hi, nice to see you too.
So I'm just wondering if you can articulate a few thoughts about the conference, like what have you been struck by or...
Sure. The conference has been very interesting so far. I think what's really nice about it is this ability to bring together people from around the world and from different disciplines and from different subfields, because I think the problem with oral history is a lot of different kind of people do it on a lot of different kind of topics, and what's been really interesting is I'm going to panels on topics that I don't necessarily work on, or on subjects that I don't necessarily know very well because it's so international, and some conflicts I've never even heard of, for example, and seeing the commonalities between what I do or what the problems I'm grappling with as an oral historian and what other people are grappling with. It's really, really nice to see.
For example?
I went to a couple of panels about oral histories of human rights violations, injustice, racism, etc. Or I went to one about oral histories with people living with HIV/AIDS yesterday, which is a field I don't know very well at all, and especially looking at that in the global south. And it's really, I don't work on that at all. I work on the history of memories of genocide and atrocity, but seeing the way in which people grapple with accessing people who are vulnerable and working with marginalized populations, there's still this really nice common ground. So it's really cool to see how many different kinds of work is being done, and also to see, that there is still a lot of common ground to find.
Yeah, and is there maybe one more, because that really is true, I've noticed the same thing, and in particular with regard to illness and parallels, with the betrayal of trust suddenly. Anyway, we could talk another time, but anything else that a particular, perhaps another presentation that interested you? Or?
Yeah, well, I think something that I have found really nice is that a lot of the presentations, even when they're really content focused on their, the substance of the particular interview, almost everyone takes the time to talk a little bit about process, and to talk a little bit about what it was like doing these interviews. So, my very first oral history project was about Bosnia, and I listened to a paper yesterday by a young researcher also doing interviews in Bosnia, and again, she looked mostly at the substance of the interviews, but hearing her talk about what the interviews were like and what the process of working with the people she worked with was like was unbelievable, because it was so similar. And it really still, even though I did those interviews a long time ago, it still really helped me reflect on the particularities of that experience. And so it's been really nice to see people be so open about both the process and its challenges, and again, be able to talk to each other quite openly about it.
Is there a sense of being in your right place when you're at an oral history conference?
Oh, definitely, and I think oral historians are always very friendly and very sort of open and interested in learning about, learning about different projects, learning about different kinds of people and themes and that kind of thing. So it's always very nice being at an oral history conference.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. Yeah,